All right, wanted to talk to you. Given I know that Mr. Baldwin has his own special kind of charm, and now you don't see Boss Baby without his voice. But given that Skipper is very authoritative, did you ever consider doing the voice yourself at all, or was that wasn't even an option for you?
No, because I think for me, it's like I'd rather work with a better actor than myself. You know what I mean? And first choice was Alec.
Okay.
As soon as you look at a baby in a suit and you think of a voice, Alec was the voice. But doing the Skipper as a vocal performance, it put me on the other side of the mic, and I realized, wow, you're really naked behind. There's no sets, there's no costumes, and what's good direction to have? And I think what worked for me worked for Alec. As far as context, where are you? Well, what's the weather like? How many characters are around you? And to because it is kind of a leap of imagination, and so doing the voice to Skipper taught me to be a better director because and that was very helpful.
I was watching sort of some adults struggle with like the logical, and it's a sort of unreliable narrator. Did you have fun with that? The fact that you can go anywhere with the fact that it's a story that somebody's making up, and you can go almost anywhere.
Yeah, and it's like, is it a story that comes from the kid's imagination, or is it real? And it's fun to play around that. We joke that it's Inception for kids, but it is fun with the unreliable narrator because the narrator is him reflecting on his life growing up, and because we were able to play in a 7-year-old's imagination, there's different logic rules for it. But I think at the end of the day, there's a strong statement about brothers and family and that sort of thing, which hopefully would obliterate all logic issues.
So I wouldn't call the film nostalgic, but there is some sort of visually there's an ode to classic animation and sort of stuff. Is that something that you were going for?
Yeah, I mean. You're a young man, Juan, but when we went to the
I'm
movies
in my
growing
40s,
up,
sorry,
and
it's all right.
we probably all grew up on old Disney movies, and it was a really magical experience. It transported you to a different world, and wanted to bring that back. And the story just felt like it's perfect to be a period movie before cell phones and computers and digital devices where kids are buried in them. This is really a story about when kids went outside and played and used their imaginations, and that's what my brother and I were when we grew up, and so we really wanted to celebrate that time period, down to the toys that used to be, we used to have as kids, and so it's really a period film when you think about it.
So I heard that this is sort of, you see it as sort of a love letter to your
Oh,
brother.
it is. It is.
Has he seen it, and what has been his reaction to the movie?
My whole personal aspiration is to make my brother cry because it's a lot of us on screen. And so he hasn't seen it yet, and we're going to see the premiere in New York, and I'm going to sit with him and see. I'm just going to watch him and see how he reacts to it.
And if he doesn't cry, just throw some onions in his eyes, and you'll get it then.
Yeah,
he will though. He will cry. Wanted to know, once you locked in Baldwin, because that's the thing. Like, you can't imagine this movie without him. How much of the character was already from the book in the script adaptation, or how much did it grow comedically having Mr. Baldwin do the voice?
Well, I had a fantastic writer working with, and on the film, Michael McCullers, who wrote Austin Powers movies, and it's very specific. I like to write, but I wanted to work with a writer and one writer to create the voices for these characters, and so a lot of it is through a 3-year process of give and take. And Alec improvising. And Michael writing, it's a great back and forth, and it goes on for 3 years, and you kind of find the character, and in animation you have the luxury of that time to find the story, find the character. I think Alec just hit the character right out of the box, so right away. But the hard part was we probably had 3 hours of great material of Alec and only 80 minutes to tell the story. And so there's a lot of cutting room floor stuff that I just absolutely love.
DVD extras. All right, pleasure talking to you, sir.
Thank you, Juan.
All right.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Look how helpless he is. Can't even change his own diaper. Well, can't or won't. Diapers are all about power dynamics. I poop, they wipe, bam! I'm the boss.
Dreamworks, The Boss Baby.